Okay, so today's tomato review is going to be on the Indigo Rose tomato. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the tomato first. And so this is the Indigo Rose. Zoom you out. That's the Indigo Rose. Yeah, they did crack. We've been getting a lot of rain, so when you get a lot of rain, your tomatoes are going to crack, unfortunately. But as you can see, it's got a very black surface, very much like the Blue Bayou tomato. If you can get the sun to go all the way around the tomato, it'll turn completely black. So you have to get some kind of foil or reflective material for the bottom of the tomato or the plant somewhere on the bottom, so sunlight hits it and it reflects back up and hits the bottom of the tomato. And these tomatoes will turn fully black. But these are close enough for me and are good enough for you to see what you're generally going to end up with. Yeah, hopefully you don't get these cracks. But yeah, you will end up with cracks if it rains a lot. It's just the nature of the tomato. That's what tomatoes do. And so here's the inside. And you can see we're bi-chambered. We've got two chambers. And the seeds are very firmly attached to the rind. And I do see a little bit of wilding in the rind, like around the edge like that. So I do see some wilding. And if you look at the skin, it's just like a grape skin or a blueberry skin. You can see the skin, how it's purple just on the skin. The rest of the tomato is just like a regular tomato. So why don't we give that a nice taste test. I'd like to get this so the camera can get a nice focus on that so you can see it. Alright, so let's give it a taste test. Well, interesting flavor. Wow. Okay, right out the gate, it was very tangy. Now, a lot of my tomatoes this year are coming out more tangy than I'd like to, but this tomato is coming out very tangy. I probably just simply didn't add enough lime to the soil this year. I'm noticing that in a lot of my tomatoes. So that's telling me I need to up my lime in my soil. So first of all, it's very tangy, and the tanginess is a lemony type sour tanginess. It's like, it makes your mouth pucker. It's that type of tangy. Very strong soury flavor. But there's this weird taste that it has, almost like a fruit punch or some kind of a berry type of a flavor. On the skin, I guess, mostly. Not really so much the rind, but like the skin. Let me finish this piece. It kind of reminds me of bubble gum. I mean, I don't know what to say. It almost tastes like a slight essence of like bubble gum. Remember bubble yum, or one of those big chew bubble gums? Remember those big chew? It's just like a pink bubble gum flavor. It kind of tastes just like a pink bubble gum flavor to me. Very slightly though, not very strong. But the seeds are very tangy. Not enough for me to say that the tomato's like horrible or anything, but very low on the sweetness. Not much sweetness on this tomato at all. We'll cut another one open to see if it does the same thing, but that tanginess is just, I don't know, that ain't working for me. Let's cut this one open. That's a nice one right there. So as you can see, nice and black on the top, but the bottoms get a little, maybe it's not ripe enough neither, because these should turn a little redder. Well, I don't want to wait because the fruit flies are coming in and they're starting to attack the fruit. I have to do these reviews, and some of this stuff's got to sit out and ripen a little bit. But I need to get through these reviews, and this one's not quite ripe, but it shouldn't be that tangy. I don't know. That was just ain't working for me. That tangy flavor, man. That's just not something I appreciate. Tomato is going to get a low rating. I tell you that right now. This year, anyway. And let's give it a bite. No sweetness. No sweetness developed. Sorry. Tangy's probably 35% tangy. Sweetness, 5%. Almost nothing. It's virtually no sweetness at all. But there is this weird taste from the skin. When you chew up the skin, it has this weird kind of berry flavor. Like a little bit. It almost tastes like I said, bubble gum almost. I don't know any other way to describe that flavor. It's just different. Very different type of a taste. It's not awful or bad or anything. The tomato is a great tomato. It's just very bland. There's no sweetness to it. You need that sweetness to carry you into that tomato. Has no sweetness. It's got an overwhelming level of tang. The tang part seemed like it developed where it should be. 35%, maybe somewhere in there. But no sweetness developed at all. So that's probably because I didn't add enough lime to the soil. But if you could bring that sweetness up on that tomato and balance off that tangy flavor, that would probably be a very, very delicious and interesting tomato. We'll definitely revisit this tomato next year. I'm going to tweak the soil a little bit. I'm really going to maybe grow out 4 plants and really load up 1 or 2 of the plants heavy with lime. Very, very heavy. And we'll see if we can get that tomato to come out sweeter. Because without that lime, your tomatoes are going to be bitter. I can tell you that right now. A lot of my tomatoes are getting bitter. I just simply didn't add the lime to it this year. So that's my fault right there. But I know that's some of my own fault. But as far as me rating the tomato this year, I can't really give it a high rating because of that tangy flavor. And just the dull, non-sweet, developed flavor. It just has no sweetness to it at all. So, unfortunately, this is going to get a number 4, 1 being the highest. I'm going to rate this as a number 4. I don't want to rate it as a 5 where, I basically wouldn't buy the seeds anymore. So I don't want to rate it at that. But I do want to, try it again. And again, I'll save seeds and, I'll keep growing it. And I can't really recommend it this year, though. This taste was just, I don't know. I have to see what I could do with this next year. We'll see if we can reflavor it, and then if I can develop the flavor a little better with new soil, tons of amendments to the soil, and really build that soil good. We'll see if it still tastes like this, even after I do all that to the soil, I wouldn't recommend this tomato. Though I will tell you, I've had the Indigo Rose. I've had that tomato last year, and I remember eating a few off it, and they weren't bad tasting last year. I just think it's the lime, really, that caused this issue, I think it's just simply the lime and the soil was just off. So unfortunately, you get to low review. There's nothing I can do. I can't change those dynamics now. But I'm not going to recommend it, but you can go and buy the seeds if you want and give it a go and try it for yourself if you just want to try growing a black tomato. And this is definitely, by far, without any doubt, a black tomato. This is not a purple or anything like that. This is a true black tomato. This tomato will turn black on you. And like I said, if you want to get the bottom of the tomato to be fully black, you got to put a reflective material on the bottom of the tomato, and this tomato will turn fully black for you. So you have to go through that trouble if you're looking for that effect on your tomato. But for me, this is good enough. So anyway, that's the tomato review for the Indigo Rose tomato. And also, too, I just want to mention, too, to you that this is about the size that they get. They don't get too much bigger than this. They don't get generally too much smaller. They generally get around that size, They're going to be around that size somewhere. So expect that. All right, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.